everyone, Sandra here from the Schwoven's Nest. This Easter weekend, I'm spending time with my family at our cottage. I thought I would take you on a little tour of some of the decor items that I've purchased, created, and used to decorate the cottage. It's not a fancy place by any means. I like to keep it rustic and simple. So I hope you enjoy some of the things that I did. In our mudroom, we have an interior door. I picked up this little life buoy in Prince Edward Island a couple of years ago. Here, nice addition just to hang on the door. And on this side, I've got a beer can opener, a beer bottle opener thing. And I got this from my kids. So I thought, what a really neat place to put it. If you grab your beer, and what it does is it has a magnet behind it. So you can see the beer cap is actually stuck there because it's on a magnet behind it. So it doesn't make a mess. And I just thought that would be a really cute addition to the mudroom. So our mudroom isn't exactly fancy. It is very practical. This is the area where I have the outdoor fridge and some barbecue utensils, but I wanted to show you these signs. I picked these up at a place in town here, and the first one is a metal sign, and I thought it was cute. No working during drinking hours, because of course up at the cottage, what else do you do but drink and enjoy? And the bottom one, I love to work my 6-pack. I thought that was really neat. So basically I've hung these things right by the beer fridge. The other little plaque that you see there is all in German, and it says it doesn't have any beer in heaven, so that's why we're drinking it here. This is a sign that I found at a local home decor store in the town of Cloyne, which is where our cottage is located. And it says, "Go jump in the lake." It has some nice green tones to it, which is the theme of this cottage. I've got this hanging on the wall in our bathroom. And the picture was something that my mom had picked up at a garage sale. And I think it's really cute, so I've decided to leave it. And the sign above it, I created just with 3 pieces of kindling wood that were approximately the same size, some paint, and the rope. I just had some butcher twine that I braided and glued onto it, and that's how I got it hung. I think it's kind of cute. I want to try and keep things a little simple in this bathroom, so I think that's probably all I will do. This is a clock that we have hanging in the living room. I picked up this clock at Walmart, and it already had the nautical rope attached to it. But what I did a little bit extra is I added this anchor at the top. So it's a wrought iron anchor, and it's navy blue. It might be hard to see the color. Last year, when I was just starting to get into chalk paint, I decided to make over this entertainment stand. It used to be solid black, and it had glass doors in the front where the crate and the radio are right now. And the top of it was just plain. It was just a particle board with that melamine overlay on top. So I decided to paint it a aged gray, which is the first chalk paint color that I actually ever purchased. It's by Rust-Oleum. So I did that. And then I also took some cut up boards that we had, and I decided to just create a new tabletop for it. We don't actually use it as a table. It's just used here as sort of a display and storage center. But I thought using those boards would be kind of neat. And I just screwed them in. I don't actually mind. I like having the screws showing. So that's what I did with that. And I've just got a couple of little cute drinking things here. The one is a lantern, one's a little keg. And then of course I love to go fishing. So I've got this little fish plate here as well. This is the whole view of the space in between the window and the door with my cabinet, with the clock, and just with a little shelf that I stuck up there that has a few cute little pieces on it, a candle, a fish, and a coffee mug. This is another piece that I put together. The antlers was actually their real antlers. My stepfather was an avid hunter, and he got this deer and had these antlers mounted. And what I did was just take a brown picture frame, and I took the glass and the backing out and made the frame part of the display. So Next to the door, I hung this little key hook. It's not necessarily for keys, but I thought it would be a good idea since it's right next to the door and then we can all just reach everything. It's a little oar and it is an iron oar, dark blue, and it says on lake time. This is another corner of the living room. I have these wood and copper metal ducks that were made by somebody that my stepfather knew, so I did keep a few of them. I think they're kind of cute. And these two pictures I actually found at a thrift store. That I have in this corner is a blanket ladder, which is literally a ladder. It's an old wooden ladder that I had in the garage and I decided to paint it. But I just cut off the back part of the ladder and I painted it with chalk paint, and now it just has a spot here in the corner to hold all of our blankets. I also made some pillow covers out of some tea towels. This is another tea towel that just has the lobster on it. This is another tea towel that I made into a pillow cover. And this one I found up north in Ontario somewhere. I can't remember where, but I just thought it was really cute with the moose and the trees, and it has some fish on it as well. This is probably my favorite room in the whole cottage. It is white, nice and bright, and I've got blue accents with it. And I've been able to do some really neat things in here. First of all, this bed is from IKEA, and with the way the metal is, it just fits in with the decor really nicely. This decor I did myself quite a few years ago already, way before I was into YouTube. But what I did was take some little pallets that I had found at Michael's, and then I just went into the woods and grabbed some sticks, and I painted the pallets blue, glued the sticks on, and literally just printed off some pictures of the different types of animals that we have here at the cottage. This is just an old frame that I took and I flipped it over and used the back of it. I put the burlap on the back of it, and these are also just some denim letters that I picked up at Michael's one time to spell lake life. And then I also used some nautical rope just to give it a little bit more of a cottage feel. I have a whole bunch of these frames that I got, I think at Pier 1 or HomeSense. I can't really remember because it's been a really long time, but I love the way they are distressed with the white and the blue. I didn't do that myself. Over in this corner, my stepfather liked to collect wooden ducks because he was a hunter, so I just decided to put some sawtooth hangers on the back of the ducks, and I hung them up on the wall this way. They could be used as hooks if you had some hats or something on them, but I just thought that was kind of a neat little way to display them. I found this porthole at a thrift store, and it was actually had a mirror on the inside of it. It's really thick. It's probably about 6 inches thick. And I don't know if it's an actual porthole from a ship somewhere, but I just had to have it. I think I only paid about $6 for it. It does have some numbers on the side here, so I'm not quite sure what that could be from. I haven't researched it yet. And I just put a printed picture of an underwater shark there, but of course we're at a lake, so we don't have any sharks, so I probably need to update that picture. And if you're curious about what this is the room that my son uses, and he loves crocodiles and gators. So these are a couple of things that I picked up for him when I was in Miami. This is in one of the other bedrooms, and these tools are some vintage cement tools that are used to score the sidewalks and put the different grooves and flatten them out, and they're actually called Miles Craft tools. So I used an old cutting board and I just hooked these on there, and I thought that just was a really neat thing to do. And I put it in this bedroom because this is where my hubby sleeps, and he used to help. I think he used to help one of his uncles do that. So that was kind of a neat throwback memory for him. One of the other things I did in this room was just take an old piece of wood and I dry brushed some green over it. I took some sticks that I found in the woods to spell out the word Mazenau, because that's the lake that we're on. And then I did use some nautical rope just to give it a hanger. This is another bedroom in our cottage, and you can see here that I have a white anchor, which is the same type as the blue anchor out in the living room. And I got these 2 small paddles. I think I picked them up at Michael's or Walmart, can't remember. But anyway, I striped them with some colors. So green, yellow, and blue. And the frame that I put up now is one of the ones I just did for the Look for Less challenge. On the other wall of the bedroom, I have a couple of signs that I made. You can probably recognize the frame. That was also the Look for Less challenge just last week. This one I made a couple of years ago, and it's just from a bamboo cutting board and some nautical rope. There's a small fishing pole that used to be a lighter, like a clicker lighter. I picked up a vintage fishing pole. This corner, I just have a fish hook that I just put up, and hanging a couple of old hats. These were a couple of hats from my parents when they used to go to the beach way back in the 60s and 70s. So I thought it would be just a neat little reminder of them. This is some decor that I put together at our small cottage. So we have 2 cottages on our property, and this is somewhat a small, kind of bunky. And I thought it would be neat to show a boat up here because the propeller was original to the cottage and it was purchased in about 1960. We still have the receipt for it. So it's kind of a vintage propeller, and I thought this would be kind of a neat little thing to do on this wall. So the deer antlers above were also from my stepfather. We actually had 5 pairs altogether. And so I hung this one here, and I just picked this deer faux shiplap or board kind of sign. I think I found this at Pier 1 and it was on sale. I think I paid about $12 for it. This is another sign that I picked up at the local store. I thought it was really nice, and it has the blue accents, which is what I am doing in this little cottage. I'm doing blue in here and green in the other one. One of the bedrooms in our small cottage, and we also had these. I think my mom found them at a garage sale many, many years ago, and I thought they would be neat. They're snowshoes, if anybody doesn't recognize what they would be. They're the tie-on ones, very old. Is something that I thrifted. It's got sand and rocks and a little bit of a beach with some water. I thought it would be perfect as an addition to our cottage theme. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and make sure you hit the bell to get notified when I upload new videos. Thanks for watching, and happy Easter. Bye for now.